Okay, so I know that you guys are looking out for the next update, and that's gonna be no other than Silent Salt's story as well as the awakening of White Lily. And I'm sure you guys have seen the images floating around regarding a new particular image featuring both Silent Salt and White Lily that you guys see on the screen right now. And it is actually going to be from this particular article that was written by a reporter who was able to interview the PD of Cookie Run Kingdom and was able to share that image as well. So let's kind of look at this together and see what we are going to be having, because there are some details about what the plans are for the 5th anniversary. This was written in Korean, but I just kind of ran it through the translator. So let's just kind of see what's going on. Cookie Run Kingdom 2nd Golden Age 4th anniversary update. So here was a question that was asked to PD Kim. How would you evaluate Cookie Run Kingdom's performance in the first half of 2025? The first half of this year was so explosive that it brought back memories of the glory days of its launch. I don't think this kind of success happened overnight. The preparation we had from the beginning for the direction we wanted to take, combined with the know-how we have accumulated over the past 4 years, has led to a dramatic improvement in our performance. It's like an airplane. Now we're ready to soar and cruise. Of course, we were lucky too. It seems like a combination of many factors has led to such great results. Alright, and then of course, you guys already know that 4th anniversary has been a absolute blast, alright? The numbers were super high with the Google Trends and everything like that too, and it was a good update. Now, next question. The 4th anniversary update was definitely well received in North America. What do you think is the reason for that? We didn't strategically target a specific market. We aggressively marketed across all global markets. I think the North American market also developed an ecosystem after the marketing campaign, and word spread gradually. We were fortunate. Having received such a positive response, we have worked hard to respond. Now that the water is flowing, we're ready to paddle hard. Alright, so North America is where we are, or at least where I am. And yeah, it was really big. I mean, a lot of people started to kind of hear and know about Cookie Run Kingdom, Cookie Run in general, and I hope it continues on as well. So what content are you most focused on right now? Rather than focusing on one specific thing, it's literally a battle every month. First, my biggest focus lately is the next update, the Guild Raid revamp. We have introduced it during the live stream, but it's incredibly important and has a lot of user interest. And then looking at the bigger picture, there's the 5th anniversary update. It's going to be incredibly massive compared to previous updates. To create something big, you need to plan ahead. There's still half a year left, but we're currently working on detailed plans. Overall, wrapping up the 5th anniversary in a grand way is what I'm most interested in. There will be offline events, and we're looking on a lot of other things. I really want to make Cookie Run Kingdom's 5th anniversary rich and dense. Alright, so obviously right now, the two important thing that, has the PD really thinking about and concerned is going to be the revamp for the guild. We're having that 4th guild boss come out, as well as the changes that they have talked about during the live stream. And then it's the 5th anniversary. Obviously, 5th anniversary is the end of the beast story with the ancients and the introduction of Dark Enchantress, and how they're going to be able to tie that knot and then connect it to the next story as well. Since we're on the topic of guild raids or guild boss battle, as you mentioned in a recent live stream, could you elaborate on the direction of the game? Broadly speaking, raids or guild boss battle are intended to be a fun experience for hardcore players who play the game deeply. The entire ecosystem thrives only when these hardcore players truly enjoy them. The new bosses and the refinement of higher level rewards are all designed to create more engaging elements. However, it's also true that many players aren't accessing the game or aren't able to. It's a shame if you make it so elaborate and fun, but not everybody enjoys it. Therefore, we also plan to expand the player base. For example, restricting high rarity cookies can be interpreted differently depending on your perspective. However, we're trying to convey that raids or guild boss battles should be set up and played in this way, and that it can be a bit challenging. We want to create content that makes it more enjoyable for high level players so that other players can follow suit. Our goal is to ensure that expert strategies spread widely so that all players can enjoy the experience of raids or guild boss battle, even without any preparation, if you follow along, you can achieve similar results. That's why we're trying to refine the rewards for high-level players. Top players compete fiercely, so they deserve to be rewarded accordingly. As their efforts and strategies spread, countless casual players will also find it easier to enjoy Guild Boss Battle. Recommended teams reflect a similar trend. This is not just the raids themselves, but the overall direction of Cookie Run Kingdom. We want Cookie Run Kingdom to be a game that's easy to enjoy, light, and uncomplicated, even for first-time players. I will have to add that yes, there are elements that are definitely easier to get into, but also a lot of elements that are hard for newer players. So hopefully, yeah, as time goes by, more changes can be made for it to make that possible. And then I think this is a question that kind of deserves to be addressed here in this video, and it is going to be about, like, you know, the various grades and power balances and stuff like that. So over the past 4 years, you have accumulated a variety of cookies of various grades. It must be incredibly difficult to determine their uses and power balance in the future. What kind of thinking process are you going through? We are trying to turn their uses into content. For example, wouldn't it be difficult to suddenly use epic cookies in the main content like the arena? But that doesn't mean we want to say there's no use for epic cookies at all. We're focusing on content that leverages the unique characteristics of each cookie, like last year's Arcade Arena and the 4th anniversary Boss Rush. Both Arcade Arena and Boss Rush have had good internal performance. We know users are enjoying them, so we plan to create more content like that. The same goes for the Captain system in the Glorious Voyage and the Explorer cookie in the Mines. We want to go into more detail in the Mines, but since it was our first release, we weren't able to fully implement it. While not all cookies will be active in the same content, we're trying to create a variety of playgrounds where each cookie can showcase their unique characteristics. We also experimented with special effects like the Citrus Squad to add fun to collecting. So it does look like the things that I've talked about during my live stream kind of aligns with what the PD has. It really is going to be hard to implement and have usage of epic cookies in the regular arena. However, that's why, you know, things like the Arcade Arena and those specific, you know, events that are coming out of using those epic cookies is very important. And of course, the Guild Boss Battle as well. But in my opinion, more of those events and game modes needs to be either permanent or seasonal, so that, you know, when these new epic cookies come out and we actually pull for them, you know, they actually have a usage right away, and also in the near future as well, rather than just being something you use for one particular month where you had to save months and months of crystals to get them and promote them and ascend them, and then they are no use anymore. Arcade Arena is fun, it's great, it's a good place for like epic cookies to shine, but the gap between them is quite large. So when you spend a bunch of your stuff, like this time around with the Seafarers Gacha, where we have Manju and Jage, and then they kind of become not very relevant afterwards, it's tough on the players. So hopefully, you know, like I kind of gave out, maybe having a permanent epic only regular arena without any of those special effects can be pretty fun. It doesn't have to have the same amount of rewards as the regular arena, but having some sort of rewards on that too would definitely be easier, and also like making it so that there is no defense side or revenge battle side, so that it's easier for you to actually, you know, go in casually, play it, and then be done with it and claim the rewards as well. And now, skipping a lot of the other, you know, stuff, let's talk about the thing that you guys are probably most interested about, and that is gonna be the 5th anniversary and the updates leading towards that 5th anniversary, which is going to be, of course, the main stories of Silent Salt, White Lily, and then of course ending it with that Dark Enchantress and stuff in between. So Cookie Run Kingdom's grand celebration heading towards its 5th anniversary. We have seen this picture, I'm sure you guys have seen this picture floating around, and it is going to be the one that was shared by the Cookie Run team. So we have Silent Salt here as well as White Lily, and what kind of story that is going to be coming out with these two. Alright, so the story will continue until the 5th anniversary. Could you give us some hints without giving away any spoilers? As I mentioned during the live broadcast or the live stream, the next update will feature a more in-depth story related to the religious order or Saint Pastry Order. After that story, the final beast, Silent Salt Cookie, will appear and the story of White Lily Cookie will also be introduced. White Lily isn't your average cookie, and Silent Salt has a different background than the other beast cookies, so we have added some variations. It's hard to say anything after that because it would be too much of a spoiler. However, what would happen if you and Dark Enchantress Cookie had different beliefs? You would have to fight, wouldn't you? The scale and narrative are quite large, and we're preparing them systematically, so I think you can look forward to it. There's a lot I want to say because there will be a very grand update, but I think I'll have to stop here. So it does look like he's hinting towards that conflict between Silent Salt and even Dark Enchantress, and possibly inner conflict between the dark forces here. So we'll have to see how this one goes and what kind of miracles possibly White Lily is able to perform here, alright, with Silent Salt. Maybe Silent Salt joins the good side? We'll see. And then maybe face reveal, if that happens, like the helmet just disappears. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And this is a question that a lot of people ask. The story of Dark Enchantress Cookie could be seen as the finale of Cookie Run Kingdom. Actually, since it is a live service game, the finale isn't the finale. It's over, but it's not the end. In a series, there needs to be a good connection, and we're thinking about that. However, the story definitely needs to have a good ending. It needs to continue well after that. Alright, so of course, because it is a live service game, doesn't mean that just because we are done with the Beast Cookies and Dark Enchantress that the whole game is over. It's going to continue on with the next stories. Of course, he hinted towards the dragons releasing in 2026, so that most likely will be the main theme of 2026. The 5th anniversary will be a really big celebration for Cookie Run Kingdom. What kind of preparations are you making? The entire company is putting all its effort into the 5th anniversary. Several task forces have been created internally for development, and we're preparing more systematically. There are limits to what I can do alone, so the entire company is working hard to prepare. Please look forward to the story that will unfold after the 5th anniversary. Alright, and this is kind of like the image that we have, and it was the image hinting towards the next update in September with the same pastry order. And here's a question about communication. How is user communication going? Are you considering additional communication options? I'm satisfied with the live streams as they seem to have a certain level of structure, but I don't think they're sufficient. I want to create more opportunities. I like to try different approaches, but I'm so busy developing the game that it's hard to try new things. The current live streams feel more like briefing sessions than communication. I want to create an environment where we can talk more. It's not set in stone, but I'm thinking about changing the format a bit for next live stream. I'm considering other formats that would allow for more communication. So I want to see how that one's gonna go. Of course, like he does, explain, the current live streams are more of a briefing session. It's like, hey, this is what's gonna happen. This is what we're gonna bring. Here's all the stuff. But having that ability to do Q&As and stuff like that is a little harder too. So hopefully, something like this does come up sooner rather than later, in my personal opinion. All right, and here is the final words for the interview. I thought it was good to put it in. Finally, please say a few words to the users who have consistently loved Cookie Run Kingdom. Thank you so much. Cookie Run Kingdom is already heading towards a mid to long range service period. I believe Kingdom is moving forward to become a game that will take care of a long part of users' lives. I feel a great sense of responsibility and mission for that. I will work hard to create a game that when you look back one day, you will feel truly proud and warm. Please don't worry and enjoy it. Alright, so that is pretty much what we have. I kind of took out all the parts that were more personal and stuff that it didn't really seem like, would be important, but the main part is the story of Silent Salt and White Lily. And he did confirm and, kind of shown that Dark Enchantress and Silent Salt seems to be in a bit of a conflicting position regarding their own beliefs, and with White Lily also having a little bit of a conflict between the ancient cookies as well. I want to see what these two cookies are going to make happen within the story. So let's see how this one goes. And again, it does look like they're really working towards making this 5th anniversary big and impactful. So let's see how that's gonna go. But let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. And yeah, I will continue to, you know, kind of cover you guys on all the information. And I hope you guys enjoyed and found the video helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.